Imagine starting every multi-day hike actually very relaxed. After 30 years of planning some of Tasmania's toughest trips, I've built a 3-step method that strips out 90% of the stress without skimping on the adventure. So in this video, you'll see exactly how to reality check your route, build a blueprint that bends with the unexpected, and lock down the details that keep you safe and smiling. And by the way, I send out a free weekly hiking tip to my email list, stuff I don't always share here. So if you want to get those, there's a link in the description below. But first, let's start with the one filter that stops most plans from going off the rails: the reality check. The biggest reason adventures end early isn't bad weather or busted gear. It's dreaming up an epic plan that was never a good fit to start with. Now, every year I run an adventure weekend for a bunch of my lifelong mates. Now, back in the day, we'd knock over some pretty serious walks. These days, not everyone is hiking every month or even every year, but everyone still wants a bit of a challenge. So these days, I tailor the trip to the crew that we've got. For this group, the base camp approach now works best. We either drive in or take a short hike to set up camp, then head out on day walks from there. We still rack up plenty of adventure. We share a big feed every night, and no one goes home with a busted knee or a bruised ego. Everyone has an absolute blast. But if it's my core crew planning one of our big 9, 10, 12-day expeditions, then we'll map out something much more ambitious, knowing that the fitness and the skills are there. This tweak means that every trip fits the people on it. So everyone finishes feeling great, not dreading the next adventure and maybe thinking, I don't want to do that again at all. So how can you apply this? Well, check your group's actual fitness and experience, not what you wish it was, and base the daily distances on your least experienced hiker, not your fittest mate. Ask yourself this: is this trip honestly enjoyable for the whole group? Nail this step and planning becomes 10 times easier, maybe even more. The flexible blueprint. Now, a rigid plan is a fragile plan. I think I heard someone say that once, pretty sure I did. And out in the wilderness, things will go sideways. Weather, illness, or a tough section that bites harder than you expect. Your plan needs to bend, not snap. Now, I was halfway through a traverse in the Franklin Range in southwest Tasmania when my mate's knee just gave out. Proper serious, like miles from anywhere. Miles from any help, like 30, 40 kilometres from the nearest road. But there was no panic because we'd built in buffer days, extra time in the schedule just in case. So we rested, then we walked out on a bailout route, an easier way out we'd already mapped. No dramas. That flexibility turned what could have been a helicopter rescue into just a tricky day out. Or it's actually a few days out because it took us a few days to finally finish the walk. I digress. But everyone got home in one piece. Here's how to make your plan flexible, not fragile. When you're planning, mark your main campsites, but for every day, also pick up a backup site and a potential early exit or a bailout route, or look at your options if you needed to do that. On trips longer than 3 days, build in at least one buffer day, a short day or a rest day to wait out bad weather or recover from a big effort. Share the full plan, including backups with everyone in the group, plus a trusted mate at home or a loved one. With a realistic route and a plan that bends, you're not just avoiding disaster, you're setting yourself up to enjoy the trip, even when things go wrong. And that's what lets you focus on the last 10%, sweating the small stuff. Oh, and if you're enjoying this and you want more detail on planning stress-free hikes, I've shared extra tips with my email list this week. Jump on the list using the link down below. Sweat the small stuff. You know, the funny thing is, it's usually the boring logistics that cause the most stress. Permits, transport, pickup times, or missing a crucial weather warning. Now, I remember after a brutal 13-day hike in Tassie's southwest, we finished a day early. The day before, we got rare pocket of phone signal and we rang our driver to update the pickup time. Or so we thought. He misheard 2 p.m. as 10 a.m. You know, I was calling him from a windy, it was a storm, like I was talking to him over the phone, it was terrible. But I can see how it happened. Now, when we reached the road, he was literally about to drive away. He was just starting up the car to drive away. 5 more minutes, and we'd have been stranded. Nothing but freeze-dried meals, a 25-kilometre extra walk, and a story we wouldn't have been laughing about. That near miss hammered at home. Never leave logistics to chance. One follow-up text message would have saved a world of pain that day. Here's how to avoid a logistics disaster. With transport and permits, book months out. Confirm both ends of your trip and get it in writing. Don't just trust a she'll be right, mate. Look at the weather and don't just check the app, look at the sky. If a storm's coming, if you can see a storm coming, you can see rain in the distance, well, a front's coming, it might be time to make camp or find shelter. And campsites, well, use a topographic map that shows the land height and terrain, and you can even use satellite images as well before you go to scout really good campsites, not just the marked ones. Aim for flat, dry ground well above low spots where the water can pool. Sweat the small stuff before you leave, and you'll spend the trip solving problems you want, like which summit to bag next, instead of the ones that could end your adventure. This 3-step strategy is the foundation of every trip I run. But if you want to make your next hike smoother, safer, and a whole lot more fun, then watch this video up here next. It's packed with the practical tips I wish I'd known sooner. And if you got value from this one, hit subscribe and join me for more ways to hike smarter, lighter, and further. And I'll see you out on the track.